Hello and welcome Sizzix fans, it's Pete here with another blog. Today we're looking at this gorgeous die set. This is the Scandi Star, and I appreciate it doesn't look like much yet, but you wait till you see what we can do with this. Now, it's a Thinlit die set obviously, but it does cut quite thick cards, so this is craft card that I'm using. Marvellous stuff. And we're going to create a lovely festive star, but it doesn't mean that it's not for all year round either. You can switch up the colours, you can do different things. You can hang these as bunting, you can put them on the tree, or turn them into a gorgeous home decor item, which is what we're trying to achieve today. Now, that's all ready to go. Let's get my platform. And that's it, and you'll probably notice, I don't know if you can see this, but not only has it cut this is 1/5 of the star, so you need to repeat that 5 times. It's also creased it for all the little tabs. And I know sometimes these 3D dies, they can be a little bit fiddly, but this one isn't. It goes together so well, and you get really consistent results each time. Now I'll bring in my craft mat. This is an important piece of kit, especially when you're using distress inks, as I'm about to. And we're using Ground Espresso and Vintage Photo. Now, before I do that, actually, I've just made an executive decision. What I'm going to do is bring this back in, and I'm going to create the detail. This die just gives you a little bit of detail. You don't have to do it on all of the wings. You can just do it on some of them. So I'm going to pop that there, and once I've got it in place, the important thing is that it doesn't slip out of register. And the best way to ensure that it doesn't is by using low tack tape, like some washi tape or one of those lovely little notelets that everybody's got somewhere. Now, that's it, that's in place. It's not going to move about. That is very important. If anybody's ever done any cutting and they place the die exactly where they want it, and when it comes out the other end of the machine, it's moved out of register, you'll know exactly what I mean. And we've all done it. There we are, back into the machine one more time. And there's my cut now. Let's take the machine, it's done its work, so we'll pop that just out of shot and we'll bring everything back in. Now, you'll notice here, when I take the low tack tape off, it doesn't lift any of the card. If you're using masking tape or sellotape or something like that, you will find that it will stick to the card and it will destroy the surface. So what I'm going to do now is just flick this just to get those little pieces out. If you've got a die pick, even better. You've probably noticed that I've forgotten mine, so I'm flicking, and there we are. Lovely, lovely, lovely detail. Now we'll toss those pieces to one side for a second, and we'll start folding across these crease lines. Now there's a tab at the bottom, there's a tab there, there's one in the center. Let's fold that as well. Actually, a good tip with this, if you're going to put detail in, it's good to fold before you actually cut the detail. I've done it the other way around. Makes it a bit more fiddly. So get your folding done before you cut the detail. There you go, tip of the day. So, that's all ready to go. Now, to join these two bits together, and again, we're going to fold here as well. See what I mean? It makes it quite difficult when you haven't folded it first. So that's my bad. But it's good that you see that. It's good that you see that. It's like one of those deliberate mistakes that I make from time to time. Except in this case, I actually didn't do it on purpose. However, it's all good, even though. Now, there's that tab there. So I'll take my red tape. I'll just snip a piece off there and attach it to the, let's open this up slightly, we're going to place that along the length of this tab here, like so. It's always best to get the tape down before we start inking. And just make a snip, and the other two pieces as well. I love this tape, it's great, but it's not always easy to find the end. Right, let's pop that across there. I don't think it's too soon to start working on Christmas things, do you? No, I know, well, actually today, or tomorrow rather, my daughter goes back to school. And as soon as the kids go back to school, I start putting on my autumn hat. And autumn inevitably leads to Christmas, and it's here before you know it, so let's get started now. And I know, speaking to a lot of you, you actually start making your Christmas, some of you actually start making your Christmas cards in January. Unbelievable. There we are. All ready to go. Now let's peel the backing off that tape. Use my fingernail there. It's quite easy to lift. We'll fold the tab back, and with the die cut flat, fold that in place. By holding it flat like this, it allows you to get perfect register on the side there. Now, there we are. That's ready to go. But before I do, I'm going to bring in my inks. Vintage Photo and Ground Espresso. As I said before, the Vintage Photo is a relatively dark brown, but it's quite warm as well. So we're going to come down there like that. Same here. Turn over on the other side. And some of that, not all the way down, just concentrating from the top down. Then I'm going to fold that the other way and add a bit more. And then concentrate on the edges, which I'm going to do particularly when I'm using the Ground Espresso, which is just coming in now. This is a much darker brown, so we just want to concentrate on those edges. That will give us lovely contrast when we put this together. There we are, fold that back again, and one more time. Lovely. That is all ready to go. Just to show you how quick and easy this is to put together, I've decided to do it actually in real time, but obviously I've cut all the rest of these to save a little time. And there's the other ones, there's that one and that one. So we've got 5 in total. You'll notice that only 2 of them have the detail in. Now you can add as much detail as you wish, it doesn't really matter. You can do it in all of them, you can do it in none of them. It's entirely up to you. The creative part of it is in your hands entirely. Now let's get going. Now you notice also that we have this double-sided tape on both tabs. Now I'm going to use a die pick, very handy little tool. Great for getting all those little bits and pieces out of your lovely dies, but also for removing things like the backing of double-sided tape. Now you'll notice I've got tape here and I've got tape here, and what I'm going to do is, if I take one of these, I just need to slide that into place, make sure I get the register right, and push that down, and you can see that there's one already done. And we're going to repeat that with the rest. Now, we actually had this die on a Hochanda show recently on Shopping TV, and it went very, very well. It proved to be extremely popular because I think we managed to convey the versatility of this die. And I know there's a video that my good friend Sophie did, which has proven very popular on YouTube and on our website, so I'll probably put a link to this somewhere on my blog. Note to self, let's not forget. Right, that's the 4th one. You can see how well this goes together. It really, really does. And I'll put the last one there, I think. Now, This is the only bit which is slightly on the fiddly side, because we have to get both of these tabs, both sides of the tabs, to meet up at the same time, but with a little care and effort it should be absolutely fine. Now let's get that. So I'm sliding this, you'll notice I'm sliding that one into place and getting these tabs in here at the same time. That's nearly in place. Let's get this tab, ensure that the back's in the right spot, and then when we've got it where we want it, I'm going to press that down into place, and you'll notice that it pops up automatically. It becomes three-dimensional. That's what I like about the construction of this star. It's fabulous. You see when you push it together like that? So you need to leave a little room there. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Really, really nice. But we're not just gonna stop there. There's one more thing I want to do, and I'm going to take my craft mat again. And this is a technique I use quite a bit, especially this time of year when we're doing Christmas stuff, is I use my Distress Spray Stain Picket Fence. And I'm going to take that out, and rather than spray it, I'm just going to tap that. And you can see we get this lovely random snowy effect going on there. So concentrating in the center there and working outwards. Now, while that's drying, and I don't expect you to sit and watch this dry, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to bring in one that I made earlier. Now, you'll notice this time I put the detail in a different place. It doesn't matter, you could have one there as well. You could do that a lot. It could be, you could flood that with detail, and I'm sure it would look gorgeous as well. I'm going to take my die pick and I'm just going to insert it in there and just move it around just to widen that gap, because we're not going to hang this, we're not going to do it on bunting. I'm actually going to take, now these I got from the warehouse earlier. This is just a block that goes in between a pallet. I'm sure we've all got something like that hanging around, or if not, it's easy enough to find. This is a barbecue skewer, a bamboo skewer for putting kebabs on. Now, I've drilled a hole in here, and I'm just going to insert that into the hole. So that's going to be freestanding. Now, the next thing I want to do, remember when I made that little hole in the base, I'll find where that is, there. I'm going to slide the skewer all the way to the top, and you'll find that these are a perfect length for this. So that is actually freestanding. It's a lovely way to display these gorgeous stars. You could also do it in metallics, you could do it in pattern paper. They could all be a different pattern. They could be festive, they could be autumnal, they could go for with a birthday, anything like that. Can you imagine it in like metallic silver as well? It would just look gorgeous on a mantelpiece or in the corner of a living room. There we are. I hope you enjoyed that. I love this die, as I said earlier. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. You will be seeing oodles of inspiration on the website, no doubt, and from our different bloggers as we move towards the Christmas season. But thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you do want more information, then go to sizzix.co.uk. See you again soon. Bye!